All right, so this is an early demonstration of the time of day system. There are many things I did implement. There are also many things I didn't. But right now, this is I need to display this in a nicer way because even after like a day of working on this, I still cannot reread this. This means 5 a.m. Morning starts at 6 a.m. So we're about halfway through the transition. And right now, the time of day is set to progress pretty slowly. So let me actually go here. I set it to like 0.5 just for the demonstration. Having it be too fast makes transitions look wrong when they're otherwise perfectly smooth. So I shouldn't set it too high. But yeah, time of day is slowly progressing. It's still very dark, but soon it's going to be morning. So there will be many weather configurations and many time of day configurations that the game progresses through, and time of day also has an impact on enemy enemy behavior, enemy spawning, and also NPC behavior and spawning and where they exist and what they say, stuff like that. So time of day is actually gonna have a gameplay purpose. So it's still progressing. It's almost 6 a.m. Let me actually speed it up a bit more. So let me set it to like 0.9 to make it pretty fast. So yeah, it's definitely becoming brighter now. So some of the features I implemented to make this work are the clouds spawn in and out dynamically. So there are currently way more clouds than there were a second ago, I'm pretty sure. They grow into existence and they shrink down into nothingness when the weather configuration just says that the density of the clouds has to be something else. It's done in an intelligent way that there's not like a full replacement of the clouds, but rather more clouds are added, and then clouds are removed from the existing clouds. There's also settings like how bright is the sun? Does the sky blend in with the fog, or does it not? And to which extent? And ambient occlusion is now adjusted based on fog distance. So fog in general now works a lot better than it used to. In fact, let me speed it up and go to, let's see, set to 10. It's still going to take a while. Let's set it to 100 really quickly, and then when it hits 11, okay, there we go. It's in a transition again, so let's set this down to 0.9. So now it's transitioning to a foggy weather type. So for now, the sky is still pretty visible, but the fog is going to increase. And as it increases, the sky also absorbs more of the fog, which is not something that worked out of the box, but I have control over it now. So I have control over to which extent each daytime configuration affects the skybox. So you can already see that right now, the atmosphere is getting a lot thicker, and the sky is still visible, but it's becoming a lot more fog-like. The same thing applies to the clouds. They both can become more transparent as depending on the time of day, but also they can absorb the fog color. And I think right now they're actually shrinking down, which is hard to see because it's slow, but yeah, the sky is becoming quite empty right now, so I think the clouds are shrinking down into nothingness when this weather event becomes a bit more foggy. So there is still, I think, 1 hour left for this transition before it's complete. We can already see it's getting way more foggy. And okay, another thing I did today, which I want to quickly mention, is that the grass, I eliminated popping. So the chunks now fade in and out of existence based on distance to the camera. Whereas before they just either existed or they didn't exist with nothing in between. Now it's a transition. And chunks are rendered not when I decided they shouldn't be, but rather when the alpha value of the chunks is 0. So chunks fade in and out. Alpha value is lerped, and it's very hard to even find a spot where I can demonstrate this because it works really well. We'd have to go slowly and look at grass in the distance and see if it maybe pops in or not. Okay, so anyway, it's very foggy right now. The transition hasn't yet completed, but it's getting closer and closer. But the foliage, I eliminated popping. To make this work, I have to do a distance check to every single chunk in the level, every single frame, and there are 10,410 or so of these chunks. So that would be too much to do every single frame. Previously, I only did a fraction of all the chunks per frame, and then but now I want to do all of them every frame. So what I did is I implemented the jobs and burst system in this component. So now performance impact should be negligible, but I still compute the distance to every single chunk, every single frame. So I almost always get the most up-to-date state of a chunk when I get close to it. All right, so the time of day has passed. Now it's very foggy, as you can see, and the atmosphere is very thick, and the sky is still visible, but it's kind of obscured by the fog. So I think I have the debugger on. Maybe I don't. No, I don't, but I'm still recording in the editor in an area that is problematic due to VRAM usage. So of course it's stuttering right now, but looking at the AO right now, the problem that I had before is that it's still kind of visible right now, but this is something I can tweak, where, yeah, it's visible over there. So the AO is being applied to stuff that's supposed to be shrouded in fog, and that looks wrong because the AO itself is not being affected by the fog. So for that, I have a quick function that, I have a little function that allows me to specify what exactly let me see, where is it? I think it's down at the bottom. Fuck. It's here. So, let's see, which of these is it? I need to adjust the one that has 0.0011, so, probably this one. I think I have to lower this one a bit, like lower it down to 19. That should be fine. But yeah, I adjust the distance of the AO based on how thick the fog is. So I can avoid the issue that you see right there where the AO shadows are piercing through the fog when they shouldn't be. So I guess this is also an optimization that applies only when it's foggy, but I want performance to be consistent and not dependent on weather, so that's not really a win, but it's just like a side effect of just fixing the artistic issue of AO shadows existing where they shouldn't exist. But yeah, that's what I did today. Let me also just speed it up. So let's set it to like 100. So we're going to go through the time of day. So the time of days that I have set up right now are not actual time of days. They're just testing. So these are supposed to match like night and evening and morning and afternoon. Right now it's kind of just random stuff. But as you can see, it does work. And when it's very fast, you can very clearly see that those clouds just fade into existence and they shrink down. It looks really weird now, but when it's at normal speed, it actually just looks fine. All right, that's it for this little demonstration. I'm going to work on various other things later, but bye for now.